The Power of Consistency, a Force Multiplier. Written by Theo E. David. Introduction. What is the first word or feeling that comes to mind when you think about consistency? When you think of someone who is consistent, what comes to mind first? What emotions arise when you think of a reputable and trustworthy company? Do you plan to return to this place of business repeatedly? Do you feel at ease spending your money here regularly? Is it a location where shopping is enjoyable and truly fulfilling? The answers to those queries are most likely affirmative because repeat business from customers is largely due to a company's consistency. Customers cast ballots with their wallets when they spend money, indicating that they have faith in this company, its goods, its sales force, its overall mission, and its culture. This also applies to human beings. Establishing and maintaining a healthy personal environment, obtaining meaningful work, building communities, and forming close friendships all benefit greatly from consistency. You must be dependable in all aspects of your life, including your work and relationships, and consistently demonstrate your reliability to others if you hope to have a bright and successful future. However, you must first understand what consistency is and why it is so crucial before you can take any meaningful steps toward living a consistent life and becoming a consistent person. Why do so many individuals search for it in their personal and professional lives? Why does this aspect of a person or business stand out above the rest? Being consistent means carrying out a task on a regular basis without needing reminders. It's about being dependable, trustworthy, keeping your word when you make commitments, and doing so repeatedly. The Postal Service operates reliably. The Evening News is reliable. Regrettably, the IRS never changes. All these organizations complete their tasks without being instructed and have behaved morally for many generations. They don't require direction or instructions on what to do. They are aware of their goals and the task at hand and finish it without guidance or help most of the time. You have encountered and collaborated with many individuals and organizations that have been inconsistent throughout your life. You have seen both the advantages and disadvantages of consistency. There are those who are consistently late and those who are consistently on time, sometimes even early. Some businesses deliver their products and services on schedule without any problems, while others need to be phoned and badgered to do a basic duty that they assured you they would do weeks ago. You know that living a consistent life eliminates shocks and makes life much smoother and calmer. You know what has been promised and that it will be carried out without incident. You are also aware of the opposite of a consistent life. You feel like you're always on edge, a little bit nervous, like the other shoe is going to drop, and like you're going to have to put in more work because you can't rely on other people. As you may expect, all this may affect your relationships in a favorable or unfavorable way. Developing relationships with people who are inconsistent may be incredibly difficult and, at the same time, gratifying. You may discover that you're the kind of person who needs someone who can't fulfill commitments and hold up their half of the bargain to have a meaningful connection or relationship. This is why consistency is crucial. Although some people don't first consider it a vital quality or value in life, it is highly important. Relationships and personal lives can be made or broken by it, but it can also make or break businesses as well as your well-being and financial prospects. We shall delve more into the definition of consistency in the upcoming chapters. In doing so, we will look at how you perceive it and how you don't in the real world, and how it has affected your finances, your life at home, and your career. It's true that building trust with others is the most valuable relationship you can have. As they say, one of the main elements of consistency is trust. Consequently, one of the most crucial things you can do for someone else is to be consistent. Let's investigate why, and together we can help you develop into the most reliable person you can be. Chapter 1. What is consistency? And conformity in the application of something, usually that which is required for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness, is what is meant by consistency. That therein lies the ultimate meaning of consistency. When you see things that way, everything seems quite straightforward and doable in your own life. Being consistent and solely relying on and becoming close to consistent individuals seems simple, doesn't it? Not quite so quickly, though. It's not as simple as you may believe. Too many individuals believe that maintaining true consistency will be easy. They believe that putting this idea into reality and incorporating it into their daily lives will be quite simple. They convince themselves, I can be a consistent person with ease, and once I start doing it, I'll never stop. However, that is just untrue. Give consistency its due credit. The fact is, not enough people recognize the value of consistency, but it has helped many people achieve success and can do the same for you, despite being occasionally overlooked and underestimated as a crucial life strategy. So what exactly is consistency? Not the definition or the imprecise explanation we provided before. What does genuine consistency feel and look like in the real world, and what is the outcome? What are a few sincere examples of reliability? First, let's discuss what consistency isn't. Being consistent does not mean caving in or sticking with something that isn't good for you, your partner, your career, or anything else. It doesn't mean that you have to follow traditions or values that are out of date with today's world, because global changes are occurring far more quickly than they did in the past. No, preserving continuity does not mean resisting the need to change with the times. The world is overflowing with individuals who consistently behave badly. Being dependable does not give you the right to treat people badly, even if you don't know or comprehend them. That is plain harsh. It isn't being consistent or true to yourself. In both theory and practice, one must be consistent to accomplish what consistently works. It means sticking to tried and true techniques that complete tasks regardless of the nature of the task at hand. If what you're doing works, there's no reason to change it just because the latest billionaire politician or life coach says so. It all comes down to sifting through the hype and aura of quick fixes and expedient techniques and sticking to what will consistently yield the greatest outcomes. When someone succeeds in business, it's not usually because they were attempting to change the world, think creatively, or take a completely different approach. The reason these world-class specialists and millionaires succeed most of the time is because they follow the right path. They discover a way to achieve their goals and stick to it. They keep things straightforward and focused on the end goal. It embodies consistency, and it has historically assisted a huge number of people in achieving great success. Stay steady. Being steadfast and trustworthy is another facet of consistency. You have to work hard and regularly to see results. This applies to all areas of your life, such as your social, professional, and personal relationships. For example, if you're attempting to lose weight, going to the gym 3 times a week is much better than working out hard every day and eventually tiring out. Results will come if you put in the work that cannot be avoided in any way. Being consistent means that you are not doing things for other people all the time. There are moments when you are being true to yourself alone. Being true to yourself has several implications. It involves, for instance, maintaining a healthy diet, taking good care of your body, getting to bed a decent hour, engaging in your hobbies, staying in touch with the people you care about, and occasionally rewarding yourself. You will begin to have a better, more fulfilling life when you are consistent in this area of your life and consistent with both others and yourself. What are some practical methods you could apply to establish consistency in your life? Consider reducing your weight. Do you think it is better to follow a string of drastic crash diets interspersed with binges, or to consistently eat healthily with occasional sweet snacks in moderation, leading to slower but more sustainable weight loss? Understanding consistency and then taking a step back to figure out how to apply it to others and yourself in the real world are the first steps to becoming consistent. Now that we understand what consistency is, let's discuss why it matters and how you may repeatedly take little steps to become more consistent. Chapter 2. Why does consistency matter? What is consistency, and why is it so important in your life and business? Actually, for a variety of reasons. You will see how consistency may benefit you in many areas of your life when you give it a close examination. In a world where we need self-control and self-discipline to focus on the things that are essential to us, consistency can help us cut through the noise. But to create a well-designed habit, you have to be disciplined. Furthermore, you cannot stray from your path thanks to this discipline. This is the main explanation for why consistency is so important. Reliability in both life and business. Let's imagine you are trying to launch a new company or internet venture. In that scenario, developing self-control is essential if you want to launch a long-term successful project. Create a plan that will assist you in staying on task. gathering fresh data, writing the article's body and outline, editing it, and publishing it. And the week after that, you have to do this again. This is beneficial to you, your writing, your abilities, and the target audience. Would you tune into a television program that airs outside of regular time slots? Would you sign up for a newspaper subscription if it wasn't delivered every day? Naturally, no. It won't be easy, but nothing that requires a great deal of effort, self-control, and discipline is easy. The results will be evident in the end. Additionally, you'll feel better about yourself if you can be consistent. This is just one more justification for why you ought to expand your life. Consistency breeds confidence in both you and others. If you keep your word when you make commitments, you will gain credibility. Constructing the specific project you're working on each day will boost your self-esteem and sense of accomplishment for the objectives you're working for. As a result, you will continue to put in a lot of effort, produce more, and achieve more success. Being constant is not about the result or the finish line. The essence of constancy lies in the progress you make on each new project you build. You have the option to review your performance from this morning, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks prior. Not the results, but the process and progress are what matter. By evaluating your improvement, you can adjust your pace, gain a broad understanding of your resources, and keep a focused and methodical approach. You may increase your self-confidence and get more comfortable establishing goals by monitoring your progress. What being consistent can do for you. Do you want to stand out from the crowd? Be trustworthy. Are you looking for attention? Be trustworthy. Make sure you show up each and every day. Establishing oneself as a dependable and steady individual, writer, or business person will undoubtedly help you build a following and relationships with important individuals. Create something that will be valuable to discuss or advocate for. Not all of the content you post will become viral. Not every company venture will garner the interest and supporters you hope for. Not all relationships have the potential to endure. On the other hand, maintaining a daily presence will gain people's confidence and sustain their attention. These simple, small actions will eventually have a big impact on your life, the lives of your loved ones, the enterprises you start, how you see yourself, and how the world perceives you. There are several reasons why persevering in our dedication to hard work could lead to significant achievement in life. When you act consistently, you essentially carry out the same responsibilities every day. When we fail to complete tasks for 1 or more days, and then our objective is not accomplished, it is easy to comprehend why this happened. Being consistent holds us accountable for all of our actions. No one else is at fault if you are the one doing the work required to accomplish the goals. Due to 1 or 2 workday absences, we might need to adjust our routines and activities to finish our plans. Maintaining consistency in our day-to-day lives makes us appear more reliable to others. Adhering to others is easy. Putting our principles into practice may be more challenging. People who walk the talk are perceived by others as being extremely reliable and trustworthy. It gives you confidence in what you're doing and validates that it's worthwhile when other people believe in you. When others have faith in us, it boosts our self-esteem and provides us with the motivation to keep pursuing all of our goals. Acting consistently can boost our reputation and relevance in terms of trust, especially if we work for a corporation or are in a leadership position. People are drawn to work with individuals who have demonstrated success in the past because they know that persistent hard work produces results. More client opportunities in business could arise from this. Whether you stay a rank-and-file employee or get promoted at work depends largely on how hard and consistently you work. Self-control is key. Being consistent can be challenging since it requires a great deal of self-control. If someone is not used to acting consistently, it may take some time to form a new habit. Practice consistency helps us stay disciplined, focus better, and become more conscious of our responsibilities. Breaking old habits can be quite challenging, but if we want to improve and make personal progress, we must be consistent in all we do. A new skill's likelihood of success or failure can be determined by consistent practice over time. If you're the type who needs results ASAP, you might give up or quit something if you don't get results immediately. If you are driven to pursue things consistently, you can persevere through them and assess if they will be effective or not. It's possible that a project only needs little tweaks to the process to succeed, but you won't know unless you persevere through it until you decide to give up. Maintaining consistency in all our endeavors can make the difference between prosperity and detriment. Acting consistently can be difficult since it might appear repetitive and monotonous, especially if you have to do the same tasks every day. Since maintaining consistency requires patience, it is impractical to expect quick fixes when it comes to forming daily habits. People might be resistant to change, generally speaking. If we want to improve ourselves and accomplish our goals in the future, it's never too late to implement consistency. Seek guidance from others, such as a life coach, to assist you in becoming more productive, as doing it alone may prove difficult. Chapter 3. Why you shouldn't treat consistency as all or nothing. Despite the facts and evidence to the contrary, a large number of people believe they are either fantastic successes or appalling failures. Many people fail to recognize their own achievements even when they are significant, groundbreaking, and deserving of recognition. Additionally, there are those who believe they have already accomplished everything and don't need to work harder, persevere, or try anything new. This mindset is all or nothing. It's the notion that there is just one choice, either A or B. You are severely restricting what you can do and doing yourself great harm when you lead a life of black and white thinking. When it comes to attempting to be consistent, a lot of individuals have all or nothing black and white thinking. Why does this characteristic seem so prevalent among those trying to live more consistently? Though the exact cause is unknown, it has to do with how painful it is to see yourself set and then fail to meet goals continually. This way of thinking has the potential to cause a lot of harm, particularly when one is attempting to be dependable and constant. Your perception of other people and yourself will be impacted by all or nothing thinking. This kind of thinking usually uses absolute terms such as never or always. I should never try to be consistent because I can never be that way. Many people who are attempting to be more consistent in both their personal and professional lives often tell themselves this. A lot of people also find it difficult to see other options because they only see excellent or bad, never anything in between. It can make solving problems difficult or even impossible. If you adopt an all or nothing mindset, you'll likely feel like a failure more frequently and have lower self-esteem because the likelihood of appearing like a total failure increases when you are either successful or unsuccessful and nothing else. All or nothing thinking also makes you less likely to take chances, which makes it difficult for you to stay consistent on a regular basis. In order to transform your life and your habits, including how you may be a consistent, trustworthy person, you must be willing to take some risks. Perhaps you'll need to spice things up, try new things, push yourself, and think creatively. But you can't think all or nothing all the time and accomplish that. All or nothing thinking cannot be used when you are developing consistency, since you will also find it difficult to forgive yourself on a regular basis when you don't meet the new goals you've set for yourself. You have to be kind to yourself, even though you didn't do everything you set out to do or achieve all of your goals. You should be pleased with yourself for trying. That's certainly cause for celebration. You can't get back up and try again if you can't forgive yourself, and that's a crucial component of actually achieving anything else, like becoming consistent. Yes, when you are attempting to change and become a caring person, you do need grace, self-forgiveness, and self-compassion. You cannot accomplish that by thinking all or nothing. Thinking in this way can lead someone to believe that their success or failure in life is all that matters to them. It's all binary, either one or the other. That is essentially what all or nothing thinking is all about, and it can get you into trouble. It is a challenge, to be honest. It can be difficult to become consistent. You will need to make a vision of the kind of version of yourself that you wish to be and establish goals for yourself. After that, it's a matter of pressing on and taking the required actions to develop into that person. That is a significant task. This implies that it's likely you won't always be flawless. You will fail and make mistakes. Therefore, you will need to reflect, try again, and adjust how you approach consistency. Additionally, if you believe in black and white, all or nothing thinking, you will continuously hold yourself back. Not only is this kind of thinking detrimental to attempts at consistency, but it is also detrimental to relationships with others. You categorize your own deservingness as good or terrible. However, you might start to see other individuals in this binary way of thinking as well. You might therefore pass judgment on other people and yourself severely and unfairly. When you're that pessimistic, the world can appear incredibly dark, which can amplify your feelings of melancholy, worry, and cynicism. You could desire constancy in other individuals as well as from yourself in life. This implies that you'll have high expectations of other people. It will be necessary for you to have confidence in their dependability. However, as previously stated, it's not always simple to achieve that. It's likely that you will occasionally fail and make mistakes too. It won't always be possible for others to change for the better overnight. It will require persistence, false starts, modifications, and frustrating moments. You won't let the people closest to you attempt, fail, try again, and eventually succeed if you stick to your all-or-nothing stance. This, as you can expect, will not allow you or others close to you to be consistent. In the end, suffering from an all-or-nothing mindset will not benefit you in any way. It will only cause you to hold yourself and other people to unjust standards. It's a guaranteed method to set boundaries for yourself, guarantee that you won't change, and guarantee that the adjustments made by others won't satisfy you, as you can. See, it should be avoided, particularly if you're trying to alter your life in a significant way, like learning to be a trustworthy individual. Chapter 4. How small steps lead to big results. Being consistent is a marathon, not a sprint, as is the case with most things. That's probably something you've heard others say before on other topics, but it still holds true for consistency. You cannot expect to become dependable overnight or to drastically alter the way you see the world, conduct business, conduct yourself, or live your life if your goal is to become trustworthy in person or in your business. Naturally, that is an all-or-nothing way of thinking. As we previously stated, that is a terrible frame of mind to be in and will only cause you to impede or cease all consistency. It's true that developing consistency in your life may seem overwhelming at first. You may convince yourself that since you've always been this way, it will require a tremendous amount of effort to change now. Take your time. Indeed, a significant amount of work will be required, but the good news is that it doesn't have to be done all at once. It can be completed gradually over time. As strange as it may sound, being consistent is essentially an act of consistency. Referring back to the marathon comparison, start making little incremental changes to your life over time, rather than trying to make a drastic shift all at once. Before you realize it, your entire life will have changed, as well as the way you manage your personal and professional affairs. You'll see that you've truly developed into the kind of person you always knew you could be. You simply didn't accomplish it all at once in a single glance. You need to take small measures. What tiny actions can you take to establish and maintain consistency? It's a good idea to establish a nightly routine that you can stick to. Always start with that. Why would you do this at night? Because it could be too much to ask yourself to accomplish something in the morning. You should concentrate on the evening instead of the morning because you already have a lot on your plate. Perhaps you're attempting to read a book. This is a sensible baby step that you can take. Before going to bed, read 3 pages. Whatever the circumstances, give yourself 15 minutes to read those 3 pages. You will read your 3 pages regardless of how tired you are, what you have done during the day, or when you need to wake up. Just 3. You're able to finish it swiftly, and every night you will. It doesn't even have to be that big of an undertaking. Perhaps the solution is as easy as putting lotion on your feet right before bed. You can do that little step each night, isn't that right? It takes merely a few seconds. Whatever it is you must complete each night, this is fostering uniformity. It involves consciously maintaining consistency and demonstrating to yourself your ability to succeed. You are demonstrating to yourself that you are capable of being consistent, even in little things. When you feel like you've bitten off more than you can chew in the future, this will be helpful. These tiny steps will serve as a reminder to yourself that you are capable of completing the task at hand. Why? Because this will serve as evidence that you have gathered the little things. Examining all the little things you do on a daily basis and piecing them together into a story you tell yourself is the secret to becoming consistent. You will see that you have become genuinely consistent after you add all of these small details together. You haven't made the decision for yourself to always arrive at work 15 minutes early. Rather, you have stated that you would like to wake up 5 minutes earlier every day, that you would like to bring a snack to work every day, and that you would like to start your car 10 minutes early. You are able to accomplish all of these little objectives and actions. You obtain overall success when you combine them all. You can see that modest efforts will yield significant outcomes. All you need to do is choose the final outcomes you wish to achieve and then identify the baby steps you may take to get there. There are never too many baby steps to take. When you combine them all, they provide a clear path that eventually leads to the consistency and person you desire to exhibit. Chapter 5. How to not quit being consistent. You now understand the importance of consistency. Nonetheless, maintaining consistency is the most crucial aspect of consistency. That might also be more difficult than you think. You will actually be squandering your time and the time of others if you begin to be regular but quickly give up and quit. Being constant is the ultimate goal of consistency. However, how would one go about doing that? What keeps you going? What prevents you from dropping the ball? It requires some preparation and effort, but it's actually fairly simple. However, the payoff is substantial. When you wish to maintain the excellent development you have made, bear the following points in mind. Keep your goals realistic. Being steady will remain difficult if you are unsure of what needs to be done. Create goals that are clear-cut, easy to understand, and easy to keep track of. It would be okay to start by defining consistency for yourself. After that, you need to consider the minor actions you need to take to reach that objective. As previously mentioned, this will help you maintain consistency and prevent the task at hand from appearing too large, daunting, or unachievable. Sustain uniformity. Accomplishing daily tasks is a prerequisite for maintaining consistency. As such, you ought to design a personal plan using an organizer, notepad, or phone app to keep track of notifications that will help you stay organized. After that, you'll be able to decide which responsibilities you can and cannot afford to fulfill. Apply reminders. Reminding oneself to follow this new regimen is worthwhile. It is advisable to place notices at work, school, home, and on your clothes, especially when you're trying to change things up. It's easy to forget about new obligations and conversations. In order to ensure that you remember them throughout the day, post reminders where they will be observed. Despite your best efforts to maintain consistency, errors may inevitably slip through. Thus, try to continue even after making blunders. It's inevitable that mistakes will be made, even by the most organized person. Thus, you ought to base your plans on your errors. If something goes wrong, try not to punish yourself. Events of this nature happen from time to time. Missing a date, keeping your word, or having to reschedule with someone does not always mean you are becoming less consistent. Indeed, external factors could get in the way. These outside factors will periodically derail us, even though it's imperative that we prepare for them and strive to prevent them from doing so. The capacity to be more consistent should be available to you. As such, you need to get adequate sleep at night. 7 to 8 hours a night are needed for the average adult. Students still in school are expected to do even more. It will be easier for you to be consistent the next day if you give your body enough time to heal. Though you would prefer to see effects right away, it will take time. Changes in thought patterns may not happen right away and may take some time to manifest. It could be difficult to completely uproot your life and adopt a lot of new customs all at once. Therefore, you should give yourself some time to figure out what works best for you. It's important to maintain realism, but also persistence. Doing something consistently for about a month is often necessary for it to become a habit. Along the way, remember to set little goals. Keep your workload from growing too quickly. Small changes made now will add up over time. Setting boundaries for your personal relationships and obligations is also necessary. These boundaries may make it easier for you to uphold your half of the contract because of your expectations of others. You can avoid taking on too much by establishing these boundaries. For example, communicate to your employer your preference for not working on weekends or during irregular hours. You may even switch off your phone entirely to let your coworkers know that you are unavailable on weekends, at night, or on holidays. If you modify your thought process, you will be more reliable. It is important to remember this when you are trying to change something so big in your life. As human beings, we will always have days when we don't feel like doing anything. It's for this reason that every one of us ought to utilize motivational products in case we require inspiration to finish our assignment. What action should you take, though it may be easy to give up on our objectives for the day? There are steps we can take to address this problem. If you're feeling tired, unhappy, hopeless, or down, there are a few ways you might be able to find more drive. Take care of yourself. If you want to be more consistent, you also need to develop the important habit of only making promises you can fulfill. People like being liked by other people. Because of this, we all tend to say yes when someone asks for our help. It is important to refrain from making unfulfillable promises, even though it is pleasant to have the back of people. Living a more consistent existence requires that you keep your word. On the other hand, it is easy to get overwhelmed, which makes certain obligations fall between the cracks. If you'd like to be more consistent, try treating yourself. Ultimately, developing a new habit is challenging. Make yourself some time-bound goals. After you reach those goals, give yourself a treat. There are several ways you might give yourself credit for a job well done. Self-reward for consistency is essential since it reinforces positive behaviors. Everybody uses different methods to treat themselves. Never be scared to think beyond the box, and don't forget to reward yourself when you achieve. Chapter 6. Consistency and Habits, How They Link. Changing your habits little by little, one at a time, is all it takes to become consistent. That makes things sound much too easy, and as if. It doesn't give enough credit to those who made the changes. But when you're trying to become consistent, that's really the major objective. To really make a difference or incorporate new habits into your routine, all you have to do is consider them and go for them. A habit is merely that, a habit, until it starts to feel natural to you. You will learn to perform these habits consistently and integrate them into your routine, personality, and way of life once you start pushing yourself to develop them. That is a difficult but crucial component of developing consistency. Developing new habits is difficult, and it's also challenging to remain sincere and committed to continuing them. However, if you want to be a dependable and consistent person, this is an essential step. How to change habits. How and when do you form new habits and integrate them into your personality? It's actually fairly easy. First and foremost, you should jot out a list of all the behaviors you desire and the various methods you might live a consistent life. Perhaps you should do a better job of answering emails or phone calls. Perhaps you should arrive at work early. Perhaps you would like to routinely visit the gym. Perhaps cooking at home seems more appealing to you than taking out. All right, so you now have a clear idea of your objectives and your ideal life. Developing the habits that will enable you to get there and accomplish your objectives is the second step in this process. As we previously mentioned, you will begin modestly and develop the habits for yourself. You will strive to call a friend or member of your family at least once a week every week if you want to get better at returning calls. Initially, you will just do this once a week, but eventually you will do it every week. If you wish to be at work early, the same holds true for eating or going to the gym. A lot of the time, habits are internal behaviors that emerge on their own without the assistance of outside forces. Therefore, forcing yourself to make some may seem strange. However, you must keep in mind the goals you will achieve when you incorporate these behaviors into your daily routine. The ideal method for teaching yourself how to perform these actions and how to do them on a regular basis is as follows. You can see that doing this will give you new personality traits. You can become someone who answers calls and emails, arrives at work on time, prepares meals at home, and much more by doing this. It won't be simple, though. You could find that completing these tasks causes you some internal reluctance. It's possible that doing something will feel strained or awkward rather than natural or typical. However, it won't always be the case. You're doing this to create habits that will come naturally to you. Yes, it might not feel entirely natural at first, but it will get easier. The more you practice these new habits, the more you push yourself to accomplish these tasks, and the more you do it, all you really need to do is start small and push yourself to do these things at first. Everything will get easier once you take the initial step and get going. It's important to keep in mind that being inconsistent is a habit that you must overcome. Assuming you are reading this book, you are probably prepared to develop into a trustworthy individual. You want to be someone else, and you're sick of disappointing people. You are attempting to break the old behaviors that have brought you to this point, the ones that have caused you to be inconsistent and untrustworthy. It is feasible. It just requires patience and diligence. However, putting in the necessary effort pays off in the end, particularly if it helps you become the kind of person you know you are capable of becoming. Chapter 7. What can consistency give you? Asking yourself this question can help you determine what consistency can offer you. What is your opinion of individuals and firms that are reliable? What comes to mind when you think of someone dependable and trustworthy, someone who never needs to be reminded or coerced into doing anything, someone who consistently keeps their word, and someone who never fails to deliver? How do you feel about this individual or this business? Is that better or worse? Do you want to collaborate with this person frequently or stay away from them? We can presume that you have high regard for someone who is dependable, consistent, and skilled at what they do. And if you put in the effort to become consistent, that's the kind of impression that others may have of you. If you work hard to remain consistent, you can create a life full of possibilities, enjoyable events, strong, healthy relationships, solid business connections, and a calm, laid-back vibe in everything. Change your view. The greatest benefit of consistency is how other people see you, their perceptions of you, and their desire to collaborate and cooperate with you. Nobody wants to be close to or collaborate with someone who consistently fails them and lets them down. How frequently do you hear people compliment erratic and untrustworthy persons? Not at all frequently. It's one of the worst qualities someone can possess, and relationships can eventually be ruined by it. It may leave you with few friends and no chances for future business. You are making an impact when you are dependable and consistent. In a nutshell, you're expressing your concern. You are demonstrating your ability to appreciate, comprehend, and listen to other people. You're implying that you value their time and don't take them, their time, or their availability for granted. That says a lot too. That demonstrates your sincerity, compassion, and caring nature. Who is the kind of person people want to spend time with? You are expressing the exact opposite when you are inconsistent. You're implying that you don't give a damn. Even when you know someone is busy or has a request for you, you'll complete everything at your own pace, do it when you get around to it, and arrive when you want to. This is not a person who listens to others, makes concessions, or shows genuine concern for their feelings. By your behaviors, you convey a lot. Your behavior reveals to the outside world who you are as a person and the principles you uphold. You will gain close friendships and respect from other people if you practice consistency. It's crucial to remember, though, that consistency alone won't provide you these benefits. You are the one who will due to your diligence, preparation, and hard work. You will be giving these presents to yourself. Being dependable has many benefits, some of which have the potential to change lives. These could mean the difference between landing a job and not, or between establishing friends and not. However, you are not provided with them, you have earned them. Always keep in mind that it is you who is working so hard to earn these rewards and experience the advantages of consistency. You deserve the benefits because you put in a lot of effort. Chapter 8. How to be consistent no matter who you are. Some people may claim that they simply can't be told what to do, are constantly late, or never finish tasks on time, or that they work at their own pace. They claim that they cannot be contained. They say they can't do things the way someone else does. In essence, what these folks are saying is that no matter how hard they try, they are unable to be consistent. It's simply not who they are. It's not in their DNA. That's not something they're naturally good at. To put it plainly, these people are full of it. They ought to be believed rather than listened to. And if you are among those individuals, you ought to give yourself more faith and take a close look at how you see yourself, because you are capable of being constant, trustworthy, and dependable regardless of your beliefs or identity. You can be the one who always arrives on time, answers the phone, completes assignments on time, and keeps their word. You are capable of doing this regardless of your personality, experiences, or background. It all comes down to exerting yourself. It's true that some people find consistency to be easier. This can be attributed to various factors, such as their upbringing, past employment experiences, or innate personality traits that they don't perceive as taught or acquired. However, to claim that consistency is impossible is absurd and completely untrue. In actuality, anyone can become consistent. They only need to identify what is preventing them from doing so, determine the best course of action to take to change it, and stay clear of the obstacles and pitfalls that could prevent them from becoming dependable. For this reason, we emphasize the significance of eschewing an all-or-nothing mindset, developing new habits, and creating a strategy. Work is required. It's not always simple. You cannot simply declare to yourself when you get up in the morning that you will be constant from now on. Rather, you will need to take a seat, make a strategy, and carefully consider what has prevented you from completing this task in the past. No matter who you are, you can always be yourself. Similar to how everyone can learn to play the piano, you may find it difficult to pick up the piano now. It is possible that you are not naturally rhythmic, that you have only ever played one instrument, or that you struggle with memory. Even thinking about picking up the piano could make you feel overwhelmed and that you have a lot of obstacles in your way. You will need to put in more effort than someone who has played other instruments their entire life, but it is still possible. You are lying if someone, including yourself, claims that maintaining consistency is too difficult. Alternatively put, they are undervaluing themselves. They're settling for less than they deserve. You ought to have confidence in yourself. You ought to believe in yourself. You should convince yourself that although maintaining consistency will not always be easy, the benefits to your life, relationships, career, and future will far outweigh the difficulties. It'll be well worth your while. Hard work shouldn't be intimidating. Hard work should also not be ignored. Rather, embracing difficulty should be encouraged since it demonstrates your fortitude, tenacity, and passion. Yes, developing. Consistency may not be simple, but you can achieve it by making a strategy, altering your perspective, and challenging yourself to form new habits that will eventually become second nature. Selling yourself short and giving up hope are the last things you should do. You have enormous potential. Everyone does. All you need to do is begin. Have faith in your abilities and persevere. Conclusion. You'll realize that it's worth it when you consider all the wonderful things that can occur in your life when you maintain consistency. Before long, you'll have friends that truly enjoy spending time with you, want to hang out with you frequently, and call you on the phone. Before long, you'll be climbing the corporate ladder and gaining the respect of your peers, good treatment from coworkers, and confidence from superiors. You'll soon have more self-confidence. You'll have self-confidence and realize how much you are capable of. You will be able to look within, see the proof of your strength and ability, and tell yourself that you can accomplish any work, no matter how big or intimidating it may seem. You're capable of anything, and you'll be right. Maintaining consistency is an excellent method to alter not just how you think about yourself, but also how others perceive you. You'll gain incredible self-assurance, faith, and inner power from it. Consistency, what is it? It's being trustworthy. That much is true. It's about being the one that people know they can rely on, the one who can be depended upon in an emergency or at any time of day. It involves having empathy, understanding, and compassion. Not everyone aspires to be that. Maintaining consistency is not always simple. Some people never had consistency emphasized in their upbringing. They could think it's nearly impossible to alter their behavior and start acting consistently. But it's not. Actually, it's not. You are capable of doing all of this and reaping the benefits. You must set goals, stick to them, have confidence in your abilities, and never give up. All of this will set you up for consistency, which is a route that has the power to genuinely transform your life. Thanks for listening, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also click the small bell icon to receive a notification every time a new free audiobook has arrived. Thanks again.